All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? We are live. Thank you guys for being patient after finally getting a decent stream to watch Raw last night. That's why I couldn't go live immediately following Raw. The USA Network app was just driving me up a wall. It literally buffered every 5 to 10 seconds. I was like, you know what? I'll just wait till tomorrow, watch Raw in its entirety. I can't watch a show when it starts and stops. So before we get into the review here, I just got to say USA Network, NBC Universal, get your shit together because you can't have stuff like that happening when I'm trying to watch a TV show. But be that as it may, if you guys are tuning in live, be sure to retweet the link. Leave your comments down below in the comments section. And thank you all for tuning in here to another Raw review here on youtube.com/DanielGuys412. And if you are tuning in, live chat will be open throughout the entire review. So if you want to interact, leave any questions, comments, anything that you feel you want me to address about this episode of Raw, I will do that for you guys. So without further ado, let's dive right into the March 2nd, 2020 edition of Monday Night Raw. We certainly have a lot to talk about. My good friend Matt Rossman. Raw is not trash. No, it was not a great show, but I thought there was some good stuff on here. Overall, I thought it was a mixed bag in terms of what this show presented. I thought it started really strong and it ended really strong. And there was some stuff in the middle that was, it was what it was. But be that as it may, let's talk about how we kicked off Raw tonight. Or should I say last night. So we are live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Pyro goes off. We have Paul Heyman comes down to the ring, and the fans are booing him. He's talking about how the company wants to sell you on Drew McIntyre. He won the Rumble, and he's going to be the one to dethrone Brock Lesnar. But he calls Drew McIntyre essentially a big bitch. A stupid big bitch that's going to get squashed. Drew's music hits. Him and Lesnar stare each other down. Looks like Lesnar's going to exit, and then Liv Morgan is... We'll talk about Liv Morgan. We'll get there. But Lesnar is, comes back on Drew, and he, wham, whacks him right in the head with a Claymore. I was like, oh my God, Drew McIntyre just laid out Brock Lesnar with a Claymore kick. Lesnar's getting back up. People are like, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, hey. The rest of the song. So they're saying goodbye. Brock, poontang your ass on out of here. And as Brock's walking back up to the ramp, another Claymore kick. Place goes nuts. And Lesnar gets back up. And then he hits him with the third Claymore kick. Drew McIntyre stands tall over the beast, Brock Lesnar. And I was like, holy shit, did this do a good job of making Drew McIntyre look like an unstoppable force. 33 days and counting until WrestleMania. Will Drew McIntyre be the one to dethrone Brock Lesnar? We'll see, but I really like this opening segment. It was short, sweet, to the point. It got Drew over as a threat. I really liked the sit-down interview they did with him last week. I felt like this really put some of the fire back on this feud, because of the Super Showdown stuff. It was kind of like, okay, we're kind of in a holding pattern. But now, with 4 weeks to go till WrestleMania, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the build continues here on out. But it's going to be a fun ride. Like I said, this and the Orton and Edge stuff are two of my favorite things here on this show. Raw Tag Team title match. Solid match here. The Street Profits versus Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. And no JR voice. It's not AEW. Okay. Well, I can't do a Tom Phillips impersonation, but I can do a puppies for Jerry Lawler. I really like this match. This was a now or never match. Title shot for the Street Profits. If they lose, they will never, ever get another title shot. They were hugely over here in Brooklyn. We had Akam and Razor standing guard on the stage as the Monday Night Messiah, because that's what we have to call him now. Do you know that he is the Monday Night Messiah? I think we haven't said it as many times on this show as humanly possible. So early on, Rollins and Murphy dominated Angelo Dawkins, and Dawkins and Murphy are going at it. Ford is taken out, mobilized there. When Ford gets that hot tag, man, did he get some height. He took out Buddy Murphy. Counters with a DDT and a standing moonsault, close to count. Ford and Rollins are getting tangled up. Montez Ford is a future star in the making. The man has charisma. The man has incredible athletic ability. Dawkins is okay, but to me, the star, eventually when you do split the Street Profits up, the guy that is going to ascend to the top is Montez Ford. And back and forth we go here. So the referee ejects AOP, who, Rollins was trying to distract the ref. They were trying to interfere. Out of nowhere, Kevin Owens runs in, hits Rollins with a stunner. By God almighty, a stone cold stunner. Murphy and AOP chase Owens away. Ford and Dawkins take advantage. Big top rope frog splash for the win and the pin. Street Profits win their first championships on the main roster. This was a highlight. This was a treat here. I'm just like, congratulations to those two guys. After wallowing through so much of these stupid SNL segments and just some of the other crap that they had them doing, it was nice to see, the Street Profits get a win here on Raw. I'm glad they did the title switch here, not on the Blood Money show, which I didn't watch. But well-deserved win. And obviously it continues the feud here between Rollins and Owens. Rollins reveals there will be a title match at Extreme Rules against Street Profits, but I don't see Rollins and Murphy picking it up. Rollins addresses Kevin Owens and says Owens can name the time and place, but Rollins will crucify him when he gets his hands on him. So Rollins and Owens at WrestleMania. I mean, this feud has been going on since, January here. And I think the best way to culminate it here would be in a stipulation match at WrestleMania. The question is, what would the stipulation match be? You could do no disqualification. You could do no holds barred. You could do falls count anywhere. You could do an I Quit match. There's a number of different options. A street fight. WrestleMania street fight I think would be really fun. Just saying. You know what wasn't fun? I don't know whose coffee this guy pissed in or what, but the WWE 24/7 title match between Ricochet and Riddick Moss. And they had a competitive match, and Riddick Moss pinned Ricochet to win the match. What? Are you kidding me? Poor Ricochet. The guy goes from losing to Brock Lesnar in a minute 30 at Super Shitdown to losing here to the guy who's barely been on the main roster. I'm like, oh my goodness, what the hell? Why? Did Vince give up on him? I'm like, now, the thing that you can do with Ricochet here, and I don't like to use the word buried, but let's be honest here, he was kind of buried in this match. Came across as a loser, because he is a loser. He's lost both matches, and that's a shame, because I like Ricochet. I feel the one thing, and I've been saying this on numerous occasions, that Ricochet is missing is a mouthpiece, a manager. If I recall, MVP is working behind the scenes with WWE. You want to give Ricochet that mouthpiece, that manager, put him with MVP. And you could even turn him heel. And have a heel Ricochet aligned with MVP. And yes, I know, I've read the report that, hey pal, Ricochet, little Ricky, I'm over you, pal, you suck. I know what Vince said. Or the report said that Vince said. But in my scenario here, the best way to get out of this was crapshoot. You turn Ricky heel. You give him a heel manager, MVP. It's a 2-for-1. Boom. Covers up his weaknesses, which is talking. And then you can highlight him as this incredible athlete. So be that as it may, feel bad for Ricochet. I don't know what the hell they're doing with him, but it's kind of frustrating. We had Aleister Black, supposed to take on AJ Styles. But Styles came out first. He talked about I was supposed to win that Mountain Trophy Gauntlet match, and Undertaker came in and deprived him of that honor. And then we had Mark Wahlberg, a.k.a. John Cena, giving him advice on dealing with Taker. And AJ said he's on a collision course with Taker, and he hopes Taker is watching the match with Aleister Black tonight, and he wants to consider it a warning. He said AJ says Taker is a legend who is trying to hold on to the spotlight that's not his anymore. Aleister Black comes down to the ring. I thought this was supposed to be AJ Styles versus Aleister Black, but apparently Aleister Black is an idiot because he didn't read the contract and says he has to go through Anderson if he wants to get to him. So we have a quick match here. Black masked Karl Anderson. Then AJ says, okay, kid, you're good. But guess what? Now you have to face Luke Gallows. So we got Luke Gallows versus Aleister Black. And disqualification occurs when the OC just begin to beat the shit out of Aleister Black. He's beaten down. Magic Killer hit the Black. And I thought, okay, that's how the segment's going to end. But no, we eventually do get AJ Styles versus Aleister Black. Doesn't last that long. So I don't know if it's, AJ still obviously recuperating from the injury, because the 2 matches that he's been in hasn't been in there that long. And I don't know how I felt about Styles pinning Black in the manner that he did. I'm like, maybe the better idea would have been just to do the DQ. You protect Aleister Black that way. I mean, and Aleister Black has not been pinned on the main roster in, I don't know if he has. Correct me if I'm wrong. But AJ goes to the apron springboard into the phenomenal forearm. He hits it. Mocks Undertaker. And pins him. And people are like, oh, Aleister Black, he's bare. I don't know, he's not bare. He was protected. I didn't care for the way that AJ pinned him. The way that this could benefit, because I feel like people are like, oh, Aleister's just being used, as a stopgap here for the feud between AJ and Undertaker. Honestly, I think the best scenario would be the Undertaker and Aleister Black teaming up to take on AJ Styles in the OC. You could do a handicap match. You could do a 6-man tag. Maybe have a mystery opponent at WrestleMania. And then that gives Black the rub. I feel if that's the direction they're going in, then I'm okay with this scenario. But if you're just going to beat Aleister Black and then beat him again at Extreme Rules, Elimination Chamber in a no DQ match against AJ, I'm just like, why are we sacrificing somebody special here in Aleister Black that you were doing such a great job? And, yes, stop yawning. Anyway, it just lost my train of thought. But the point is, this can still benefit Aleister Black. We'll have to see what happens this Sunday at Elimination Chamber, which I honestly forgot was taking place. We then had Liv Morgan, beautiful, bad, versus Ruby Riott. And Sarah Logan was the special guest referee. The match, what it was. It was, went for a cup of coffee here. Eventually Ruby shoved Logan. Liv comes from behind and rolls Ruby up for the pin. So Liv with the win. Don't really have too much to say about that. This is what we have to talk about. We see No Way Jose. He's dancing. He's having a good time. And we see Eric Rowan and his mystery pet cage. Oh my gosh, we're finally going to see what's in this stupid freaking cage. They built it up. I didn't care. And finally, Rowan says he's going to show us what's in this cage. Oh my gosh. Guess what it was? It was a really large, fake-looking tarantula. I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm watching this thing right here. Okay, that looks terrible. I mean, I'm just looking at the video again. It's just... That was it. That was the build-up. Well, as WWE always proves, they know how to disappoint in a payoff. That sucked. Moving on. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. I've seen these two have better matches. Baszler applies to Kirifuda clutch for the submission win. There were boring chants during this match. Yeah, I agree. The match, I don't know. Something was off. Honestly, Kairi Sane has just not looked good on the main roster. I don't know if it's because the style's not meshing or if they just told her, hey, you kind of got to tone it down here. But, yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I said, Becky was out on commentary, so I'm looking forward to Shayna winning an Elimination Chamber. We know it's predictable as hell, but I felt like this match here was really nothing special. And, you know what was good, though? Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza and Andrade Cien Almas. Really good tag team action here. These four guys work so well with one another. And I keep saying the scenario, the situation, if you gave me the pen to paper that I would book for WrestleMania 36 is a fatal four-way ladder match between all four of these competitors. Mysterio, Carrillo, Garza, Andrade. That would be muy bien. Carrillo goes to the top rope, hits a moonsault on Andrade for the pin and the win. And like I said, I thought this was some pretty good back and forth action here. Like I said, you can't go wrong when you put these four in the ring against one another. But I seriously think a ladder match would totally steal the show. So hopefully that is what ends up happening. And then finally here, easily the highlight of the show for me. Beth Phoenix comes down to the ring for a medical update on her husband Edge. And just before she can get a word out, that son of a bitch Randy Orton comes down to the ring. Beth calls him a son of a bitch and says she wouldn't hug him or shake his hand after what he did to her husband. And we all knew where this was going, but Beth wanted an explanation. And did Orton cut a hell of a promo here. He talked about being backstage in WWF in 1999, how he was with his dad, and how Edge shook Orton's hand, or in his father's hand, and then his father introduced him to Edge, and Edge told him maybe someday they could work together. Orton said, he made some bad choices later on in his career, but there was one guy who always pulled him out of that situation, and that was Edge, his friend. And Orton says he returned the favor because he wanted to save Edge's life, because Orton realized that Edge thought after the Royal Rumble he would be back for good, but Orton knew better. Orton knew someone like himself would make a name at Edge's expense, and Orton wanted Beth's kids to have their father. Orton says thanks to him, Edge will be there for his kids, and Orton did it because he loves Edge, he loves Beth, and he loves their two little girls. But here's the sad truth. Orton said, Beth, you're an enabler. He said, Edge is a junkie for the roar of the crowd, and Beth, you did nothing to stop him. So he had to step in. And he says he loves Edge and their daughters more than Beth ever could. And Beth just look in her eyes. She's just like, you bitch. She slaps Orton in the face. He tosses the mic, and it's building. And it's building. And it's building. And Orton is furious. Beth kicks him in the gut. Orton calls her a bitch. RKO. Announcers are shocked. Crowd is stunned. Got some Natalia, Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, Rey Mysterio, R-Truth, Devon Dudley. Officials are tending to Beth. It's funny. Matt Hardy gets RKO'd. But it's kind of funny, I think. Well, he's going to AEW probably, so fuck him. But, yeah. I was like, wow, when that RKO hit, I didn't know if they would do it, but I was like, I'm glad they did, because it only built for the further excitement when Edge finally makes his return to Raw, which should be next week. So, and we also are hearing rumors that Undertaker will be on that show. And then you have the fallout of the Elimination Chamber. We should get Becky and Shayna finalized for WrestleMania. So business is certainly picking up here, folks. As far as a grade for this show, I'd give it a C. Like I said, I really liked the beginning. Really liked the ending. I liked both actually tag team matches. Street Profits winning. And, Rey Mysterio and Humberto defeating Andrade and Angel Garza. The rest of the show was just kind of there. So I'm looking at my poll here on Twitter. So I'd go a strong thumbs in the middle. 66% gave the show a thumbs up. 33% gave Raw a thumbs down. So that is my review for last night's episode of Raw. Be sure to leave your comments down below in the description box. I do want to thank you all for tuning in live to this review and for all the comments. I appreciate it, Matt. Shout out to Matt Rossman. Be sure to check out our latest episode of the Ultimate Marks Podcast, episode 7, live here on youtube.com/DanielGeyser412. So until my next video, guys, I do want to thank you again all for watching this video.